Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrienne Obi, Capricorntigress of Astrology, a look inside. And I'm coming to you guys, surprise, 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 coming to you with a mid-month astrology review. I'm just going to go through really quickly because I feel really bad that here it is, the 11th. And it's, I want to give you guys some kind of mid-month update. I just did a special report for Aries that is going to be uploaded as a premiere. So you guys have that coming because I really, I owe you guys something. It's your birthday month. Okay. So I'm going to be going over these really quickly. I'm just giving my vibes. Oh, my crystals. Hold on. I've got two of my crystals down. Give me a second. Oh. Okay, so I'm just going to be, sorry, I'm all discombobulated here. This is why I don't like lives. Whenever I do lives, this is the kind of thing that happens. My bra strap messes up or something shows and, my hair goes wild. It's just, anyway. Let me just vibe out for a second because I feel this. Just for a moment, because once I do this, I'm going to go very quickly. Just going to vibe out everything, and then I'll shorten them and do them each for you. I'll update them and edit them later. This hair, I would have worn my own hair today, but it was still wet. I had to wash it. Anyway, I'm going to start now. Got my magic amethyst here. Got my other little stones here. Just thinking of what I want to say. Okay. All right. And I'll be looking at where the planets are right now as well. So Aries, let's start with you. As I mentioned, I do have a reading coming up for you, Aries, a special report coming up mid-month for you. So be aware that is coming, Aries, okay? One of the things I do want to say is that as of today, which is the 11th of April, the sun is at 21 degrees of Aries, the moon is at 11 degrees of Cancer, and Mercury is at 24 degrees of Pisces, Venus at 19 degrees of Pisces. So, there's emphasis in your 12th house. One of the things I said in the reading that you're going to see in a few moments is that as of the 17th, Mercury is going to move into your first house. So this emphasis, this feeling of being confused, of being ignored, of maybe even sleeping a lot, drinking a lot, smoking a lot of weed, not doing a lot of things the way you might have normally done them. It's because you've had Mercury and Venus and Neptune in the 12th house. And it's just like a leftover vibe from when all of the planets were in Pisces. And man, I'm just glad it's starting to go. Aries, because I've got to progress, ascendant in Aries. So I feel what you feel, I think. As of the 17th, Mercury goes into Aries. Okay, on the 20th, Venus goes into Aries. The emphasis is going to be moving away from the 12th house and into you. You're going to look more attractive. You're going to feel more attractive. You're going to be able to communicate more succinctly, and you'll feel like your mental processes have returned. Then when the sun goes into Taurus on the 20th and after, then you're going to have emphasis in the second house of what you possess and what you earn, what you have, and what you have to give. So I think you're going to start looking so much more attractive to others, after the 17th. And there's that full moon in the 7th house on the 19th. Ooh, get ready for that. I'm going to leave it with that, Aries. And as I said, you've got a special reading coming up. I'll be premiering that soon. All right. Much love and light, Aries. So my next, and this is horrible. I should be going, I guess, by sign, but I'm not. I'm just picking up papers and reading them. Probably going to drive everyone insane. but I am live and I am rushing. So I'm just going to do it as I see it. The next thing that came in my hand was Virgo. Virgo. I love you, Virgos. My daughter is a Virgo. Virgo, you have an amazing month. I think I discussed that with you when I did your reading at the beginning of the month. What an amazing month you Virgos have. Right now, it might feel a little weird. I mean, like I said, Mercury is in Pisces. Venus is in Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces. That's opposite Virgo. They're all sitting in your seventh house. But how has that seventh house emphasis affected you? You know, it's Venus and Mercury and Neptune. It's not necessarily a bad opposition. Now, I could tell you how my daughter, the Virgo, she's had amazing partnerships with business people over the course of the last month. She even got some kind of deal with Bill and the Melinda Gates Foundation or something of that nature. This is what I'm talking about. You can take the fantasy in your partnerships. If you had this dream of creating these magical partnerships, you might have been able to create magical partnerships in the month of April. And Venus is going to be in the 7th house until the 20th, and Mercury is going to be in the 7th house until the 17th. So I would take advantage of that. Until then, why not? Also, you're going to be dealing with the full moon in your 2nd house of money. It's like, oh no, I don't need no more money. I'm all cashed out. I got so much money. Girl, boy, y'all gonna have some money. Money. Because that full moon is on the 19th. It's at 29 degrees. It's a fate degree, but until the full moon is exact and whatever, there's a lot of opposition coming from the 8th house. That's other people's money. You may find that other people are paying you money. Why do I keep hearing that Cardi B song? Money. Yeah, you're going to have Venus in the 8th house after the 17th. You're going to have Mercury in the 8th house after the 17th. You've got Chiron in the 8th house healing your, that area, that's finances, that's money, sex, death, taxes. You're healing that money. And, it could be intense. You might even have had like an aha moment with a psychiatrist. I swear my daughter told me she had one. And the funny thing is, with all that emphasis in the 8th house, that is talking with your psychiatrist. That is having pleasant conversations with. You are going to come to the knowledge of deep things that may have been buried and hidden within you. And I see that even more so when the sun goes out of Aries and into Taurus, and that goes into your 9th house along with Uranus, which is in the 9th house right now. So your philosophy may be changing. The way you look at the world may be changing. Your whole, take on life may be changing. The way you look at religion may be changing. The way you look at politics, legalities, education, all of that could be changing. And let's not forget, Virgo, that Mars is sitting in your 10th house of career. This is your month to do what you need to do what you got to do. The North Node sits in the 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes all year. But with that Mars in the 10th house, I'm telling you, go, 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 and go. Now, here's the thing. Jupiter did go retrograde in Sagittarius down in the 4th house on the 10th. That is opposing the 10th house. But it's retrograding down in the 4th house. It's telling me, that's saying, okay, you're not going to enjoy sitting at home on your butt so much. Now you're going to, when Mars in the 10th house, focus on your career. So that's not a bad thing. All right. So I would say money, career, make it happen. It's your time. You've got magical partnerships, incredible money coming. My goodness. Oh, wait. One other thing I got to tell you. Almost forgot. Saturn and Pluto are retrograding in the 5th house. Saturn and Pluto are retrograding in the 5th house. Saturn and Pluto are retrograding in the 5th house. These are going to be affecting your 5th house of taking chances, money, but chances like your entrepreneurial, if you own a business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you take chances that deal with your money. Be cautious. They're retrograding. You might have had a year where you might have been able to take chances. If that has been the case, then after the 24th and 29th, that might not be the case until like September or October. If you've had a year where you haven't been able to take chances or risks well, then it may be that when they go retrograde, you can until September or October. Either way, that's going to be an area of focus, and it could also mean children. Please be aware of it. Just saying. All right, y'all. This has been Capricorntigress of Astrology, a look inside, and happy April to you guys. Much love, Virgo. I love my Virgos. And next we have Pisces. Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you, it's like Russian roulette. I don't even know what I'm picking up when I'm picking them up. I just think it's amazing. So Pisces, you are next. And let's see what I've got here for you, Pisces. Another one has got money, I think, because, you know, there's a lot of emphasis for Aries in April. Aries. There's a lot of emphasis in Aries in the month of April for Pisces, which is your 2nd house. That's what I'm trying to say. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so even right now, I mean, the sun is there. We've had the new moon there on the 6th. Mercury is going to be going there on the 17th. Venus is going to be going there on the 20th. There's going to be emphasis in the 2nd house. Chiron is there, the wounded healer, most likely healing whatever issues that are going on there. And that is something that you need to look at. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Just trying to see where's that. That's down in the 4th house. Yeah, and you've got Mars down in the 4th house too, by the way, and Uranus in the 3rd house. And after the 20th, the sun's going to be in the 3rd house with Uranus. I would say Pisces, it's going to be a time where there might be some communication with like family members, and there could be some emphasis on your family. Okay, especially with Mars going there and hanging out there in Gemini. Okay, and that's that area. So there could be emphasis on your family, a lot of emphasis on your family, and also a lot of talk, I think, with extended family members like aunts, uncles, cousins, sisters, brothers, nieces, nephews, all those kind of things. There a lot of talk amongst family going on. There could be money that issues. There could be some problem with money, but I think after the 20th, when Venus goes into your 2nd house, money may not be as much of an issue for you after the 20th. Jupiter is retrograding in your 10th house as of yesterday. It's retrograding. Okay, so you might find that your career matters may not be going full steam ahead the way you want it. And you might even feel like your deepest hopes, dreams, and wishes may not be going forward like you want it. And this is because both Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, they're all going retrograde in the month. Jupiter went retrograde on the 10th. Pluto goes retrograde on the 24th. Saturn goes retrograde on the 29th. It's a time to go back over, review your hopes and dreams and wishes, review your aspirations, review what your life goals are, review your career, review how other people see you and the image you want to get across. And if you're seeing the world clearly, and if the world is seeing you clearly, review these things, review your philosophy about your career and how you plan to get ahead, and how you will, what kind of legacy you're going to leave behind. You're going to have a whole review over issues that have to deal with the father and the mother, issues around the 4th home, the 4th 4th house of the home and 10th house of the father. And so these are issues that may play out for you in the month of April. And wow. Also, the North Node is in the 5th house. That indicates that you're being asked to focus on children, or at least that childlike behavior, fun, find joy and fun. And maybe that's why Jupiter is retrograding in your 10th house, and Saturn and Pluto. It's hopefully you'll have an opportunity to find your fun, your joy again. You might have felt like you have lost that joy. And I'm hoping that you will find a way to find that joy again. On the 19th, there's going to be a full moon at 29 degrees of Libra in the 8th house. I'll just say this: if it gets so bad that you feel like you can't handle it on your own, or reach out for help, a therapist, a psychiatrist, an astrologer, even someone. You need to reach out for help. Don't let that pain fester without reaching out for help. Okay? But it could just be more emphasis on money that day, or sex, or taxes or something. But just know that it could be that that's a day that really offsets your of feelings, emotions about death and things of that nature, because that is a house that deals with death. And Mars is in the 4th house, which is another house that deals with death. And so I know that these could be issues for you. Please be aware of this. If you need professional help, please reach out and get that. If you need an astrologer, I am available. I would love to help you in any way I can. And you can reach me at astrologylookinside.com. Okay, Pisces, much love and much light to you in the month of April. And just know that whatever happens in May, it's all going to be up from there. Okay? Okay. Bye. Next, we have Scorpio. Scorpio, mid-month review for you, Scorpios. So you've got a lot of emphasis going on in the 12th house. You've had it all month, ever since March 20th. And on the 19th, there's going to be more emphasis in that 12th house, the hidden house, the emotions that are deeply stuffed and hidden in there. There might be hidden emotions in the 12th house. There might be emotions that deal with your grandmother's side of the family, because that is what the 12th house rules. It could also mean that there are some hidden things going on in secret. There could be issues with drinking or drugs, or even some things like that. But on the 19th, those things might come to the forefront. They might become more obvious and people might know about them. So be aware of that. As of yesterday, Jupiter went retrograde in your 2nd house of money. Lord. Jupiter's retrograde in the 2nd house of money. Lord. What I'm thinking, I'm not going to look at it as a bad thing. I'm going to say what this means is that Jupiter is retrograding until August, so that you have an opportunity to review your finances, to find out why, if any, money is being siphoned away or slipping out of your hands, and how you can increase your making of more monies and being more abundant. And so you can use this time between now and in August to become more abundant, okay? Or to at least work on the things, review, renew, revive, regenerate. There may be restore. There may be things that you need to do when it comes to the area of money and the things that you possess that you'll be able to do after, now that Jupiter is retrograde in the 2nd house of money. And also on the 24th, Pluto retrogrades in the 3rd house. And on the 29th, Saturn retrogrades in the 3rd house of communication. So you might find that you are having some limit or restriction when it comes to communicating with family. It could be your extended family members, like nephews, nieces, aunts, uncles, cousins, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Not necessarily your children. Although I do see that Neptune is in the fifth house of children. And so it might be that you can't see your children clearly right now. It may be that your children are doing things and you're not aware of what they're doing. I would say if you've had trouble with your kids, just, hopefully you had a good relationship with your kids over the month of April. But Venus and Mercury are there. So it would be up until the 17th, a great time to have heart-to-heart talks with your kids. Venus is there. Mercury is there. It's pleasant. You can talk. You guys, you might even be able to gamble. I would say if you're someone who plays the lotto or scratchies, well, child, make sure you play the lotto and scratchies during the month. For sure. Also, there's a lot of emphasis in your work, a lot of emphasis in work. Wow. Chiron's there. The sun is there. You're going to have Mercury and Venus there soon. And the new moon was there. It's a lot going on in your work. I don't know how it affected your work, but you might feel like your work needs all of your attention, or that there's some problems there that just doesn't seem to be healing. But this is a time that you can heal whatever problems that are going on at your work and do it in a pleasant way, and do it in a way where you can communicate and people understand each other. If it's been an issue where there's been someone at work who's been like bullying you or not treating you with respect, you might be able to step to them after, I would say, the 20th, and let them know how you feel in a very pleasant, or at least not threatening way, and nip that in the bud. And after the 20th, the sun is going to be moving out of the 6th house and into the 7th house anyway. So then all the emphasis is going to be on partnerships, relationships. I mean, it could be enemies, but if it is enemies, just know, it's just that time of the year. I'm just going to say, when the sun moves into the 7th house, it either works out as partnerships, business, or relationships, or otherwise, or it works out to be enemies. And there's no getting around that, because it's that time of the year. And so as long as you're aware of that, then you can, mind your P's and Q's and maneuver around that in the month of April. Okay? All right, Scorpios. This has been Adrian, big Capricorntigress of Astrology Look Inside. And this has been my astrological take for you, Scorpios, for the month of April. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Let's see. Well, next, I have Sagittarius. 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 Sagittarius, 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 Sagittarius. I've got Sagittarius rising here in Seattle. And so I always feel like I need to perk up when I get to Saggy. Okay. Sagittarius. We are experiencing something because Jupiter just went retrograde in Sag. As of yesterday, it went retrograde. And so I'm not sure how that's affecting you. I actually feel more alert today. I don't feel not alert today. Now, it could be for me, it's because when it retrogrades, it goes into my 11th house and out of my 12th house. And it was right on the cusp of my 12th. So maybe that's why I'm feeling better. But for many of you Sagittarius, you might feel like, wow, where did the fun go? I was having so much fun. Where did all the fun go? And so you may be feeling that, like, what happened to all my joy? So it's going to be retrograding until August, mid-August. So be aware of that. I think it's just a time for you to renew what I would say, all things about yourself and about you, like your body, your physical self, your persona, your personality. I mean, who you are. You'll have a chance to revive that, renew it, regenerate it, to become more of what you want to be. If you found that you were on the wrong track and you weren't doing what you wanted to do, then use this opportunity at this time to go back over things and do what it is that you want to do and fix things about your body and heal things about your body that you want to heal, because this would be that time. Saturn and Pluto are also retrograding in Capricorn, and that's your second house of money. You might find that your money is also going to be doing like a backwards turn. You might feel that really after the 24th and 29th, like at the end of the month, but really all through, May, June, July, August. Pluto doesn't go direct until September 18th, and Saturn doesn't go direct until October. I think I've got that right, or it might be vice versa. I think Saturn goes direct the 18th of September, and Pluto goes direct October 3rd. That's money. It may be harder to get a hold of money. You might find that you might feel like your money, I have a feeling because it's retrograding, I feel like it's probably going to be less restrictive. I think you're going to be able to get more money. I think if you've had trouble getting money up in the whole time that Saturn's been in Capricorn, because I know I have, I think you're going to get more money. I think you're going to be able to make money between now and in October. And that's the way I see it. Now, some people might tell you different, but I think you're going to have money. The North Node is also in the 8th house in Cancer. Money. I'm telling you, you're going to have more money. More people are going to be able or be willing to pay you what you're worth and pay you money. And if not, this is the issues that you have to work out during this period of time. I would use this time to fix and heal those issues. Also, Uranus is in the 6th house of work. And that's telling me that's also an area that needs to be healed. That's the 6th house of work. And so you may be working on that. Also, there's a lot of emphasis in the month of April in the 5th house. That's children, that's love, that's romance, that's dating, that's taking chances, that's playing the lotto, that's all those things. These are the issues that are the foremost in your life right now. And you may really feel this most of April. And then the sun after the 19th moves into Taurus on the 20th. And then the emphasis is going to be on work. So, you're going to have a lot of emphasis on your home with Neptune there and Venus and Mercury. But then they're going to go into that 5th house of the children and love and romance and taking chances and things of that nature. And eventually the sun's going to be moving into the 6th house with Uranus. So, wow, sudden, crazy, unexpected things could happen in your work life and your health. Keep your eye on your health, watch your health, take care of your health, keep your eye on your work life, watch your work life, take care of your work life. Okay, Sag? Well, you guys, that has been my reading for you, Saggies, during the month of April. This is my mid-month report. Oh, also, don't forget the full moon. Friends, okay? Don't get into no arguments or anything with friends, but you might find you make more friends on the 19th. You might find that starts to happen. Also, it could be something to do with friends and work versus friends, something of that nature. But friends, okay? All right. Bye. Next, I have Aquarius. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, let's get down to business. We're dealing with the fact that Jupiter went retrograde in the 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. And Saturn and Pluto are going retrograde in the 12th house. And Saturn and Pluto are going retrograde in the 12th house. So what this tells me is that after the 24th, if you've been dealing with some internal issues, internal doubts, internal strife, internal pain, you might be able to fix that, or at least you might feel like you're healing between April 24th-ish to the middle of September, beginning of October. And I would use the time when Saturn and Pluto are retrograding in the 12th house to heal deeply hidden subconscious things, behavioral patterns. If you're able to master that while they are retrograding in the 12th house, you might find that your life will never be the same, because these are major, and it's preparation for when Saturn moves into the first house of Aquarius. So it's a great time for healing. Also, there's a lot of emphasis in the second house too, with Neptune there, Mercury and Venus. You might have found that money, I mean, I don't know if you've not been working hard enough, but money should have been pleasantly able to come through. If not, with Neptune there could have been some confusion about money, and that could be a real issue. Also, there's been some emphasis on communication, and your communication could have really, I mean, I don't know what happened on the 5th or 6th, but something might have happened around the 5th or 6th that you got in some communication that took you for a loop. I mean, Chiron is there. You might have cried. Mercury is there. Mercury's going to be there anyway after the 17th. And Venus is going to be there after the 20th. But I'm thinking when Chiron and the new moon and the sun were there, that maybe someone said something to you, or you got a call, or some form of communication that made you sad, or made you deal with some hidden pain, because Chiron always rules where there's pain. And there could be some pain that, down in the house of communication. Now, it could have to do with your family. It could be extended family members. You might have some wounds and pains that need to be healed. When it comes to extended family, this could be like, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, that type of thing. Maybe someone said something, or may say something that hurt your feelings or get you all up in your feelings. Please be aware that this could happen. Also, there is Uranus down in the 4th house. And so I'm thinking something really strange might have happened with your family. You might have had a weird fallout even with your family. Just know it's temporary. It has a lot to do with Uranus. I mean, I would hate to think that this is something that's going to follow you for the next 7 years. That would be horrible. But I can see where you could have had some issues that cropped up in the month of April or late March because of, that emphasis of Uranus down in the 4th house, which is the home life and your security and your stability and your mother and all of those things. You might have felt like, you don't have the stability and stable home life that you once thought you had. You might feel like it's all over the place and doesn't have the structure that you once imagined that you had there. And this might be something you have to work on over the next 6 years to establish the structure that you need to feel safe and secure in the world. Mars is in the 5th house in Gemini. And when Mars is in the 5th house, it is telling me that you might have a desire to push forward or move toward love relationships and romance more than you have before. Dating, romance, love affairs, all of these are possible. It could manifest in taking chances, like playing the lotto, playing lotto tickets and just taking chances in general and gambling. So be aware of the tendency to gamble when you shouldn't gamble. Also, it could indicate that someone is just really being more forceful in their desire to move forward, to have their own business or work for themselves or be an entrepreneur. I can see that occurring as well. Also, the North Node is in the 6th house in Cancer. This could indicate that you need to focus on areas like your health and your work, but it could also indicate that if you are more compassionate and nurturing with yourself and with others that you work with, or even your clientele or customers at work, that's what's going to be more, or make it better for you, or make things more successful for you. It's all a matter of taking care of you, but also taking care of your work and any possible clients that you might have. I think I would work with my customers and treat them with love and compassion, and it's almost like you'll be treating your customers like family. I could see that happening as well. But I could say this: if you do that, I think it'll lead to money. So do that. Oh, and finally, there is going to be a full moon on the 19th in Libra. That's your ninth house. You know that? That's your ninth house. That to me means you're going to be having issues around things like your philosophy, um, the way you look at life, like the way you see the world. You might suddenly change. You might have felt one way about the world, saw the world in one way, and suddenly you see the world differently. Now, the full moon is going to be there, and so it just may be that it might be highlighted that, it might have to do with travel. It might have to do with legal things. It could have to do with government. It could have to do with education. You might, whatever it is, you're going to feel that on an emotional level. So be aware of that, okay? All right. So it has been my pleasure doing this reading for you guys. And I am hoping that during the month of April, my Aquarian friends, that you're going to find a higher level of understanding in all things, okay? And that, you don't let emotions get the best of you in any kind of philosophical arguments or debates. I would definitely avoid that, okay? All right? Okay. Much love and light to you. Bye now. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? Wow. So next up is Leo. Wow. Leo's emphasis is going to be down in your house of communication, I think, on that full moon on the 19th, which is coming up in 8 days. You're going to be having some kind of illumination in the area of the third house. This could be something to do with communication, actual like telephone calls or something written to you, or it could just be like travel, like short distance travel. It could be you in your community doing things in your neighborhood, traveling around in your local vicinity. But I'm thinking it could have something to do with emotions that have to do with your extended family, nephews, nieces, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, that kind of thing. This could all crop up and become an issue around the 19th. Other than that, as of yesterday, Jupiter went retrograde in Sagittarius. So our fifth house is now retrograde. This might feel like our fun is like retrograde. Joy is retrograde. Or your fun, Leo, I should say, because this is the house of fun and joy and parties and dances and dates and romance and love and affection and all of those things and good times and wow, all of that. And Jupiter was there. And I'm sure you've been enjoying that for a long time. But now that it's retrograde, you might find that you have to review all of that. And it may not be all fun and games anymore. You might have to get a little bit more serious, at least in the fifth house. Okay. And this is going to be that way until August. Another thing that might make a big difference is the fact that Saturn and Pluto are retrograding in Capricorn at the end of the month. Pluto retrogrades on the 24th, and Saturn retrogrades on the 29th. It's your sixth house. That's health. That's work. Take care of your health. Take care of your work. Look at this as a time to go back over your health, your work, and so that you can develop and create good positive activities and habits. Uh, you might have to regenerate your health or your work, or recreate these things, because when Saturn and Pluto go retrograde, it may need to be recreated because everything burns and crashes. That could happen. Please be aware of that. Also, be aware that you need to keep a good eye on your health between now and in October. Okay. Also, there's a lot of emphasis in your 8th house and 9th house during the month of April, specifically that 9th house, because that's where the sun is going to be, and that's where Chiron is, and that's where the new moon was, and that's where Venus and Mercury are going to be after the 17th and 20th of April. And that means you got a lot of emphasis, again, looking at the way you look at life, the way you view life, the way you see the world, even the world at large. I mean, traveling around the world, seeing everything, that you get the big picture almost. And also dealing with things like religion and politics and legalities and your dogma and education, all of this. If you're someone who has pain and insecurities around your education, around, say, certifications, or you just feel like you don't have the official degrees or certifications in order to be considered the top of your game or the top of your profession, then Chiron in the 9th house will make you painfully aware of these things. And the sun going through the 9th house might have made you painfully aware of these things as well. You've got Venus and Mercury going there. I mean, if it's something that you can get done, I would look at ways of getting it done. Why not? Take care of that. That's your life. So why not? Now, you've got Uranus sitting in the 10th house of career all month and really for the next 6 years. And it just tells me that you got a crazy career. Like your career is up, down, all around. All kind of crazy things can happen in your career life. You might have a crazy reputation. It may fluctuate from being a good guy to a bad guy. And it's because even you don't know, with Uranus sitting up there, what you're going to be. You're still evolving. You're still trying to figure it out yourself. You don't really quite know, but you're figuring it out. And when you do, then, that'll be good, I think, because you're going to need some stability in your house of career. And you might not be feeling very stable in your house of career right now. And I don't know when you're going to be feeling stable in your house of career. I honestly have to tell you that. Now, Mars is going to be in the 11th house of hopes and dreams and wishes and friends and groups. I think you're going to have a lot of wish fulfillment with friends, like people that you know, maybe on Facebook or, Twitter or something like that. But people that you know online, I think you could get some, just some fulfillment from that. Just hanging out with your friends and stuff like that. And hopefully, yeah, I really do see that. Also, that North Node in the 12th house just tells me that you're probably very psychic right now and having very emotional, if not prophetic dreams. I would take time to write down my dreams, especially with Neptune, the ruler, natural ruler of the 12th house, sitting in the 8th house. So it just tells me that you're getting like probably answers to most of your life's questions are probably coming to you in your sleep. So when you wake up, I would keep a journal by my bed. So when I woke up, I could just scribble down what I remembered. Because often if you don't do that, you'll forget what you dreamed about. And you could be having some pretty darn amazing dreams that should not be forgotten under any circumstance. And you're probably getting the messages to what you need to do in this lifetime, because that's the North Node that's sitting in your 12th house, telling you secretly, subconsciously in your sleep what to do. It might happen, it comes when you're drunk. Some subconscious method. Like you might, like if you smoke weed, maybe. Or if you drink, maybe. Or if you have sex, maybe. But, Probably when you sleep. Okay, that's the best way to count on it. All right. All right, Leo. Well, this has been Adrian Obey, Capricorntigress of astrologicalinside.com. It's been my pleasure doing this reading for you. Happy April and happy Easter to you all. Okay. I know. Next up is Libra. Libra. Man, you got a lot of emphasis going on for you in the month of April, Libra, because going into April, my nose is itching. Excuse me. Give me 1 second, Libra. Yeah, going into April, there was a lot of emphasis in Libra because we had that full moon in Libra on the 20th of March. And that was a huge full moon that caused a lot of havoc. And then now we've got, on the 6th, we had the new moon in Aries, and that was your 7th house of partnerships. And that had to be huge. I mean, that's your partnerships. Oh, my God. And now we're looking at the full moon in Libra, which is your 1st house of self. And that tells me that it will be you who is emotional and it's you that is waxing. So I'm wondering if that means that you're going to be emotional over relationships and love, because Libras often rule relationships and love. And usually everything that Libras do is so that they can balance out relationships and love. Now, it could just be that there's a lot of emphasis on you, the physical you, that is you, your physical body, your personality, your persona. I mean, it is the full moon. And what I would say is know that this full moon is occurring on the 18th and 19th. It's going to be pretty darn hectic for you. You're going to feel pretty darn emotional. You're going to want to maybe even scream or yell or get into arguments with people. Or you might find it's the opposite, that you are attracting people who want to yell and scream and argue with you on that day or around that day. So the best thing that you can do is just to stay in your equilibrium, which is funny to say that to a Libra, right? But it is the secret for your joy, because just like I told Aries, there is a major cardinal square thing going on. There's this full moon in Libra on the 19th. We have the new moon in Aries on the 6th. We've got the sun in Aries. We've got Chiron in Aries. There's going to be Mercury and Venus in Aries. There's a lot of emphasis in the 7th house. And then we've got the North Node up in the 10th house in Cancer. And there's, that is not where it belongs. It's opposite where it belongs. It belongs down in the 4th house. But down in the 4th house, we've got Capricorn, and we've got Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, and they are retrograding at the end of the month in Capricorn. So there is this 1st house, 4th house, 7th house, 10th house emphasis going on. It's right on the angles, which tells me that these are some very serious things that are cropping up in the month of April. These are things that must be dealt with. So your relationships, or partnerships, your career, yourself, your body, your personality, and your home life, and your security, and your house, even your actual physical house, or your stability in your home. If you've got someone in your home and you don't want them there, then you've got to figure out how to get them out. But with Cancer sitting up in the 10th house, you might be like, I need to reach out and care for the world. And I don't know if that's going to be a good thing for your partner, and you and your partner might bicker over this. I could see that being a real issue. Also, there could be some issues dealing with, I would be cautious of things like sexually transmitted diseases. Sorry. Uranus is in the 8th house for 7 years. This is not a time for you Libras to take any risks when it comes to sex. Really. 7 years, don't take any risks. If you're used to going bareback, don't go bareback no more. I'm serious. It's not the month for it. And it's probably not going to be right to do it for the next 6 years. So don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. You'll regret it if you don't listen to me. Don't be barebacking. Okay. Not with Uranus in the 8th house. Don't do it. Sex, drugs, taxes, money, they're all going to be crazy because Uranus is going to be in your 8th house. So please be aware of that, all right? Okay? All right. Much love and light to you. Okay. Bye now. Coming up next is Gemini. Okay, Gemini. You got emphasis in your first house because Mars is there, but it's telling me when Mars is in Gemini, you guys might be a little angry. What are y'all angry about? I mean, you might be aggressive. I mean, just assertive. It might just be coming out and being more assertive. But I think it's anger. I think you guys are subconsciously very angry and you're not dealing with it. I really see that. Is it because of something happening in romance or love? Because there's going to be a full moon in the house of romance on the 19th at 29 degrees. So is it love or romance? Is that what's causing the problems? I could see that being an issue. I mean, you've got Mars and Gemini in the first house. It would make you very assertive, maybe even aggressive, going toward the object of your affection. However, if the object of your affection isn't on board, that might not be good. That could be considered stalking in the wrong, right circumstances. You've got Uranus sitting in the 12th house. So it could be that there are some subconscious motivations. How can I put this? It could be that you might be acting out subconsciously certain things, certain subconscious ways. And how it manifests is going to be different for everyone. I mean, really. But I'm thinking that well, of course, you're going to have crazy dreams. I mean, that goes without saying. Uranus in the 12th house, crazy dreams, really. Crazy ideas. Amazing ideas, by the way, but crazy. Also, I'm thinking that you Geminis need to be really cautious about too much drinking, drugging. Yeah. Just not caring. Just doing things on a whim and not being cautious of the end result of your actions. I mean, with Mars in the first house and Uranus in the 12th house, it's like a bad decision waiting to happen. Like, you ever see those videos? He knew that's when he knew he fucked up. Yeah. Yeah. Because Mars in the first house makes you maybe gung-ho. You might want to do things and push. And then Uranus in the 12th house is telling you all kind of messed up information. It could just be leading you in a direction because your subconscious mind ain't right. It's got Uranus in it. It's thinking all kind of crazy stuff. Ain't right. Yeah, I would keep a journal and write down what you're thinking, because you might go back over your journal and think, oh, I was not thinking right. It's true. And let's not forget that Jupiter is retrograding as of yesterday in your 7th house of partnerships. Oh my gosh. Did your partner pull away? Are you pulling away from your partner? What is going on with that? If you felt like you were lucky with your relationships and you found the one, you might suddenly realize, oh my gosh, I don't have the one. I don't have the one. Oh no. Because Jupiter is retrograding. All the fun and joy and happiness and sunshine and all of that you might have been experiencing might suddenly go away, because it might have just been there because it's a transit. Now that it's retrograding, you might see that it's nothing really there. I mean, I hope that's not the case, but that could be the case. You have until August 11th for Jupiter to retrograde in Sagittarius. So it could manifest right now, and it could manifest sometime between now and in August, but just be aware it could happen. Also, there's a lot of emphasis in the 10th house. I mean, Neptune's there, Venus is there, Mercury is there, up until the 17th, and they start moving into Aries, Venus in Mercury. But that's thinking about your career and actually being somewhat lucky in your career. I could see that really taking place. Now, you have to be careful of being a little confused in your career with Neptune there, but overall, I think it's good. Also, the moon and sun are in Aries in the beginning of the month on the 6th. The sun's going to be in Aries up until the 20th. You also have like Chiron there in the 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. Going to have Mercury and Venus there in the house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. I mean, it's just going to be a very full area for you, a very full month of hopes and dreams, wishes, friends, groups, association, doing things on Facebook and Twitter and hanging out with friends. Overall, I think this is that month where you actually get to do that and enjoy that. And on the final note, I would say that there is a big second 8th house access going on because Pluto and Saturn are also retrograding, and they'll be doing that the 24th and 29th of the month. But the North Node is in Cancer in the 2nd house. So there's a lot of emphasis between money and other people's money. What you give and what other people have to give. And my thing is, with Jupiter retrograding in the 7th house, I hope it hasn't been a situation where you've been in a partnership where you expected the partner to give, and make you happy, because happiness comes from within, and you should never force that upon one other person to make you happy or give you all your joy. You should be able to find your joy from within inside yourself. And maybe that's what this retrograde in the 7th house is here to do. It's here to teach you, hey, you've got everything you need already inside of you. You don't need a partner on the outside telling you how great you are when you already know how great you are internally. So maybe that is your message for the month of April and really well into most of 2019. So I hope that resonated with you. I'm wishing you so much love, so much light, much luck, and many blessings. Much love to you, Gemini. Bye now. Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrienne Obi, Capricorntigress of Astrology A Look Inside, coming to you with the reading for Cancer. Happy birthday. Not happy birthday. Happy April, Cancer. I should say happy Easter. Happy Easter, Cancer, and happy April, Cancer. This is an amazing month for you, Cancers, because the North Node is sitting in your 1st house. No matter what goes on around you, just know that it's a month where you're supposed to be learning stuff. You're supposed to be learning and growing all year long. This is the year that you learn and grow. And it's all about you, though. You know what I mean? It's you that's learning and growing. It's not like I'm learning and growing with my wife. I'm learning and growing with my children. No, you are learning and growing. It's all about Cancer because it's all about your 1st house. So it's about you dealing with, say, your personality or the way you physically look or the way you are, you know, as your essence. You're dealing with that. There is going to be a full moon on the 19th down in Libra, which is your 4th house. That is your home, your family, your home life, your stability, your security. You might find that something makes you really emotional and excited on the 19th. Please be aware of that, especially if you've got other people living in your home or someone else, you know, has control in your home and you're kind of like at the mercy of whatever goes on. That could be a real pain in the butt. Also, Jupiter went retrograde as of yesterday in your 6th house of work in Sagittarius. So work may come to a screeching halt Or it may be that you just need to renew and revive some things in your work. And so you find that you'll be working on a lot of projects where you have to go back over things and regenerate them again. Also, Saturn and Pluto are retrograde in Capricorn in your seventh house of partnerships. And this just tells me, like, if you could be having issues in your partnerships, arguing with your partner. It could just mean that if you felt like your partner was a heavy, or if it felt restrictive, or if you're like, oh no, I don't want to be tied down, you might find like now, hey, you're willing, you're retrograding, you're going back over it, you're looking at that partnership deeply, like, wait a minute, what do I got here? I got something here. I'm going to hold on to this. So I could see this happening for Cancer. Also, there is some emphasis in the ninth house and 10th house, especially the 10th house over the month of April, because you got the sun in Aries there, Chiron's there, new moon there, Venus and Mercury are going to be there after the 17th. It's just one of those things where your emphasis is really on your career, on your image, on the identity that you create in the world and how people see you. Please be aware of this so that you can work on it and put forth your best, your best face, your best image every time. With the North Node being in the first house, I know that putting forth your best face every time is vital. So please be aware of that. Also, Uranus is in the 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. You could find that you're having some crazy disagreements with friends, and you could be not feeling like you get along or fit in on social media like Twitter or Facebook. Just be aware that this is a time where massive changes are occurring in your life, and that you shouldn't look at anything as being final, because nothing is final or written in stone. And it just could be that, it just wasn't meant, changes. That's all I got to say, changes. I don't know. I was thinking it just wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be. What was that? Who was that? What was going on in there? Maybe you have someone in your, you've got a romantic thing going on and it's just not meant to be. I don't know how that is happening per se, but Uranus is there opposing the fifth house. So that could be a problem. Okay, be aware of that. Also, Mars is in Gemini in your 12th house. You got secrets. What? Cancers, you got secrets. Y'all hiding secrets. Massive secrets. Massive secrets. My thing is, it's one thing to lie to someone else, but Cancers, are you lying to yourself too? Are you even lying to yourself? Wow. That's crazy. Don't lie to yourself. With Mars sitting in the 12th house, don't lie to yourself. Okay? I would say, though, if you've got like some creative ideas, or you've got this crazy mind, like all of a sudden, like this big aha moment, write it down. Write it down. Oh my gosh, write everything down. Record your dreams even. I mean, Mars is in the 12th house. It's just be aware that, with Mars sitting in the 12th house, that the world is not here to serve you. The world is not here to serve you, and you're not here to serve the world. Okay? Don't let nobody take advantage of you. And don't you take advantage of nobody, because it'll come back to bite you in the butt. I'm serious. But you might just find that you're talking in secret with someone. You're talking in private. You're communicating in private. You're communicating in secret somehow about something. Also, be aware of being two-faced, or just being, a liar, doing things, saying one thing to one person and turn around saying something to another person. Don't do that. That'll come back to get you, because Geminis love to have the dual personality, dual face. Okay. So with that going on in your 12th house, Cancer, that could really get things confusing. So try to be as clear of a communicator about what you want, your desires, and all of that in the month of April. Up until the middle of May, I think. Okay? All right, Cancer. Sending out much love and light to you, Cancers. I think it's all going to be okay. Just remember to be honest in all your dealings. Do not lie, and don't be playing people. I can't see. Well, it looks like I've got to my last one, and guess who the last one is? Capricorn. Capricorn. Hello, Capricorn, my fellow Capricorns. This is Adrienne Obi, Capricorntigress of astrologyaLookInside.com, and I'm coming to you with your mid-month review for the month of April 2019. Okay, so we got a lot going on, Caps. We got a lot going on. Okay. So on the 6th, just about 5 days ago, let me start with that. I'll start with that. On the 6th, the new moon was in our 4th house. The sun was in our 4th house. Chiron was in our 4th house. We had a lot of crap going on in our 4th house. So something in our home life might have gotten shaken up. I don't know what it is. It could have been something with our family. It could have been with our home life. It could have just been like our nurturing and desires and stuff like that. It could have been that it affected our career. So it could have been 5 days ago, think back on it, or 6 days ago. 6 days ago, think back on it. There's something upset or shake up your career or your home life, because this would have been the new moon in the 4th house. And yeah, I know something did for me, but I'm wondering for the rest of you, Caps, what happened, back around the 5th of April. So right now, with all the emphasis that was there, at the end of the month, we're going to leave out with having just Venus and Mercury in the 4th house. That tells me that no matter what went on, our 4th house, our family, our security, we're going to be able to communicate with our family. We're going to be able to love and nourish and take care of our family. We're going to be able to talk to them and hopefully have a good time with them, because it's the 4th house. So I'm just hoping that Mercury and Venus there is going to be a positive thing, even though it's showing up in the sign of Aries. And, the North Node is in Cancer, which is the natural place where the 4th house belongs. And it is in the solar, or the 7th house, because it's on the 7th house cusp. And so it's telling us that we need to be more loving and compassionate to our partners. We need to learn how to show our caring, compassionate, nurturing, loving, caring, giving side. We might even feel like we need to mother our partner in some way. And we're learning how to do that. If you're a Capricorn who really just never did that, you never had time to take care of anyone else, or baby anyone else, or mother anyone else, you might find that you're really going to take the time to get to know and love and care for someone else. And that's a good thing. Love is a good thing. And I think the North Node in Cancer in the 7th house is teaching you that. It's teaching you how to learn how to actually give love. And up until the 17th, Venus and Mercury are actually in this 3rd house of communication. So you might find that you're communicating to your significant other love and nurturing and caring. And you might find that your partner is, mirroring that to you, love and nurturing and caring, because these are the things that are really playing out for us in the month of April in particular. And then on the 19th, there's going to be the full moon in Libra. That's more technically 7th house emphasis, but it's going to be in the 10th house, which is the natural house of Capricorn. There's going to be so much moon or emotions full in the 10th house that could affect our career, but it could also affect our love relationships, as I hold my pink quartz crystal here. And I'm thinking love. I think it's going to affect our love on the 19th. I think all the emphasis that we've had in love is going to be highlighted there, because Libra is there. If there's problems with love, it's going to come out. If there's problems with your partnership, it's probably going to come out. If you've got issues going on with your career sector, that's probably going to come out. But I think overall that if it manifests its way as a love, showing up as love, showing up as a partner, showing up as spending time communicating, or some public display to or from your partner. I can see that occurring. Also, I want to say that Jupiter went retrograde as of yesterday. And when Jupiter went retrograde, it went retrograde in our solar or natural 12th house of Sagittarius. That is like Jupiter, our hidden joy. It's backwards. It's going backwards in the 12th house right now. So, I wouldn't be surprised if some caps say that they don't have or can't feel a lot of joy, or maybe some people might be like, you don't seem, you're very joyful. I feel like I feel more joy today. Just me. It just could be because it's retrograding out of 12 for me and going into the 11th house. So I'm feeling a little bit more exuberant. But you may feel this because it is retrograding in Jupiter is retrograding in the 12th house in Sag. So that could be felt. And lastly, I just want to go over the fact that Saturn and Pluto are retrograding in Capricorn at the end of April. Saturn retrogrades on the 29th, Pluto retrogrades on the 24th. These are two major long or slow moving planets. We're going to feel this. We're going to feel these retrogrades. And I don't know how they're going to manifest, but they're going back over the house of the self, the house of the body. So it could manifest in our bodies, our physical selves. We might be revisiting, generating, reestablishing certain things that have to do with our health, have to do with our bodies, have to do with our personalities and our personas. All of those things are being done or regenerated in the month of April because we have to face these things. Now, here's the thing. Saturn is going to be retrograde until September 18th, and Pluto is going to be retrograde until October 3rd. So we've got massive amount of time to work on these issues. And these are the issues that we need to work on between now and God knows when. Now, I've been saying these are mid-month readings because, I'm not really dealing a lot with May. But most of the things that I've been talking about are going to be dealing or pertain to mid-April to probably mid-May. Okay. All right, Cappies. I love you, Capricorns. This has been Adrian Igo. Oh, Adrian Igo again. Adrian Obi, Capricorntigress of Astrology A Look Inside. And I hope to see you at astrologyaLookInside.com. Much love, much light to you, and happy Easter. And I'll talk to you in May. Bye now.